Hey everyone, today I want to show you guys how to design and press a pot holder for a gift. It's Christmas time and these make great gifts not only for your family and friends, but also for teachers and local police officers, firefighters, whoever you like to do small gifts for. So I got this pot holder from the Dollar Tree, and it's got a nice pocket on it to fill it with gifts, and it's got a nice smooth flat surface here, which is really nice. So what I like to do first is I measure within my seams here. You have to remember that if you press on a seam, it's not going to get a flat press. So you want to measure within your seams. So I'm using my my Cricut ruler here, and it's about 6.5 inches wide, and we've got about 6 inches tall. So I'm going to use that as my base for my design. If you've never watched my videos before, if you have a hard time following the mouse, there it is, and I'll do that so you can keep track. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go over here to our shapes, and we're going to select a square. Then I'm going to go up here to the unlock button. You can also do it down here, but because I'm going to change the dimensions myself, I'd like to do it all up here. So I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to change my width to 6.5 and my height to 6 inches. Now I'm going to be making these for teacher gifts, so I'm going to start with, and I'm going to make thanks for making me, thanks to you on one smart cookie. So what I want to do is I'm going to go over to my images, and if you have Cricut access, all these images are in there, but even if you don't, you can still have access to the images to follow along. So I'm going to type in cookie, and then I'm going to go over to my filter here, and I'm going to filter it by free, Cricut access, and purchased, and that will bring up all Cricut files for me. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to find a cookie I like. I like this one. Now sometimes I'll go through and I'll pick a few cookies. This is really cute here, the One Smart cookie already there for me. But sometimes I like to go through and just look and see different things that I like. And sometimes I'll add a couple of them to my design until I find what I like. So I could add this one to with the cookie. It's up to you. So I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to go down to the bottom right and insert my images. Now what I'm going to do first is set them to the side, and I like to make them a little bit bigger so I can see them really well. And I'm going to go up here to the top of my layers panel and ungroup. And I can see that this pink layer is one and this cream layer is another one. So I'm going to delete the pink one, and I'm going to change that cream layer to white. I have white glitter HDV. I'm going to be doing the teacher one on a red pot holder. And sometimes I've heard people say that they've had issues with the red bleeding through into the white vinyl. I've never had that issue, but I like to use glitter so that we don't have that issue and I can avoid it altogether. So I'm going to select this next image, and then I'm going to go and ungroup that again. And I only want this little cookie piece here. And then I'll select the rest of this and delete it. Now I'm going to kind of play around with this. So what I want to do is I'm going to change this to white too over in my layers panel. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, kind of fit it here. And then I want an outline. So what I'm going to do is go up to the top right of my layers panel and duplicate this. And I'm going to change the color to make it a little easier to line it all up. I'm going to just choose black so that they are really different. Now in my layers panel, I'm going to select the black one, and I'm going to select the white one. And I'm going to go up here to the align. Now to select them both, I held the control key on my keyboard and selected them so that I can do it all in my layers panel. I think it makes it much easier. So now up at the align tool, I'm going to center horizontally, and then again align and center vertically. And I'm going to take the black one, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so we can slice these. And I want a little bit of a thicker outline, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to again hold the control key and make sure I have both selected in my layers panel, and I'm going to align center horizontally and then align center vertically again to make sure it's even. And then I'm going to go to the bottom left of my layers panel and slice, and I'll just remove the pieces that I don't want. Now I've seen some of these and they're really, really cute with the glasses. So I'm going to go back to my images and I still have my filters on. You'll see them over here, free Cricut Access purchase. So you know they're still on, and I'm going to search glasses. And these are cute. So we'll just select these and I'm going to insert images. Oops. And then I'm just going to scale these way down. You don't have to add the glasses, I just think this makes it cute. So I'm going to kind of line it up here and scale it down. I'm just going to manually line it up to where I like it, and then I'll use my control key again, select the white piece in my layers panel, and I'm going to weld. That is going to make it one solid piece, so it cuts out all as one piece and not as individual pieces. Now I want to add the little cookie pieces here, so I'm going to use the contour feature. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this white cookie, and it's 2.64 inches wide. So this is from that same layer, so I'm just going to make it 2.64 inches wide up here with my sizing tool. That way I know that these are about the same size. And then I'm going to go over to the bottom right corner of my layers panel and I'm going to select contour, and I'm just going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to hide the biggest piece, and that's going to leave all the little chips for me. Now I'm going to place them here. There's a lot of them, so I can go back to the contour feature and I can just pick out the ones that I don't want. I know that there's going to be quite a few of them kind of in the way. Okay, so now this one here and this one here are a little close to my glasses, and I don't want that either. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back and I'm going to up to the top right of my layers panel and duplicate that. Oops, I have the wrong one selected. That's why I should always select from my layers panel. And I'm going to duplicate, for my original, I'm going to contour these pieces out, those two that are really close to my glasses. So those are gone. And now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to contour these pieces out, the ones that we kept on our original. And I'll see if I can fit these. No. So what I'm going to do is again duplicate this one. And I'm going to contour it. So on this one, I'll take out this bottom piece here. And I can go place this up here. And on this one, I will go ahead and I'll remove this top piece here. And I'll place that. Okay, now what I want to do is make these all one piece. So it cuts all together. So I'm going to hold the control key and select them all in my layers panel, and then I'm going to go to the bottom of my layers panel and weld. And I want to give him some eyes, so I'm going to go over to my shapes and I'm going to select a circle, and I want them, I don't know if I want them to be oval or circle, or how I want them. So I'm just going to size it down. I'm going to change it to white so we can see it better. And then I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to select them both in my layers panel using the control key on my keyboard. I'm going to go back up to the align tool and I'm going to center them horizontally and vertically. Now they're both still selected, so I'm going to kind of center it here, and then I'll just select one and I'm going to move it over to the other side, so that way they're lined up evenly and equally. Okay, now I want to give him a little bit of a mouth, so I'm just going to select some text and I'm just going to use a parentheses. It doesn't matter which one, they're the same. And I'm just going to go up here to rotate, and I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to do 270 degrees so it goes to the left. That's the easiest. And I'm just going to scale it down. I'll go to my layers panel and turn it white, so it will show up really nicely, and I'm just going to kind of place it there. It's a little small, so it's harder to see if I lined it up nicely, but I'll just go ahead and do that. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select all these pieces in my layers panel again using the control key, and I'm going to weld them. Now I will share this file with you guys for personal use, but it's fun to make your own, so I encourage that. Now I'm just going to go over to my text and I'm going to add in thanks to you, and then we already have our One Smart Cookie. I have really become a fan lately of the A Child's Year font. It's a Cricut font. I think it's really cute and it kind of is quirky, so it goes with this quirkier font from our file. And I'm going to change it to white. Okay, and now I'm just going to move everything around until I'm happy with the placement of it. Okay, and maybe make my cookie a little bit smaller. Put him down here. Okay, now I really like this, so then I'm going to go over here to my square and I'm going to hide it. I'm going to go up here to select all and I'm going to attach it, and that will keep it cutting all where it is. And I'm going to unhide my square and I'm going to select my big white piece here and I'm going to scale it down. Now you want to keep in mind that even though you did a 6.5 by 6 square, those were from like exact seam to exact seam. So you want to make sure that your design is not going to get too close to those seams. Especially when you fill it, you want to be able to see it. So I'm going to scale it down and leave a good 1/2 inch border or so all around. I'm going to save this so I can share it with you guys, and I'll share a few other files that I've worked on too. I just wanted to show you how you can really create your own from scratch. So I will share that with you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Remember when you're doing HTV, shiny side down, because I have glitter, you can see this is the shiny side, but if you just have a solid color, you can see too the shiny side and the matte side. So shiny side down on your mat. I'll show you. I'll do it quickly for you. Okay. I like to use these little lines here in the corners to line my HTV up, so it avoids that 1/4 inch margin that the Cricut automatically does. Okay. And then since I'm using glitter HTV, I'm going to go ahead and hide this square because I don't want to cut that. And I'm going to make it, and then I'm going to make sure I mirror my image. That's really, really important. Now, because I did place my HTV a little askew on my mat, I need to go ahead and move this over a little bit so that it will fit where I need it to go. And then I'm going to select my machine, and I have the maker, so it's going to automatically give me all these options. If you have an Explore machine, set your dial to custom and you'll select glitter iron on. You can favorite some. I already have mine as a favorite because I cut a lot of it, so I'm going to select it and then I'm going to cut it and I'll come back and we'll press. Hey everyone, I'm back. I cut and weeded my design already. So what I'm going to do is I have my Easy Press out. I'm going to use the Cricut Easy Press Interactive Quick Reference Guide to set my materials. So I saved the tag from my pot holder, and it says it's 79% polyester and 21% cotton. So I'm going to use polyester as my material to make sure that it adheres well, because that's the higher percentage. So my iron-on material is glitter. My base material I'll set as polyester, and I'm going to be using this towel inside here, so I'm setting the towel as my surface. So it's telling me I need to set it to 340, preheat for 5 seconds. I need a protective sheet, press for 30 seconds, and flip and press for 15 seconds, and peel warm. The back of this is neoprene, and we can't really turn this inside out, so I'm not going to be pressing from the back side, but because this isn't going to be washed, I'm not very concerned about it. This is more just for decorative and as a gift. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fold up my towel, and I'm going to make sure it's going to fit inside my pot holder. nicely. And I'm just using an old towel. I don't think the red will press through to this, but you never know. So I'm just using an old towel I have around the house for this. And I'm going to just slide this in here, make sure it's all the way down so we get our full design, and make sure it's flat. Now I did make sure that my design was a little bit smaller than that rectangle that we put in there. So I'm going to get my lint roller quickly. And I always do this before I press. And I'm going to do a pre-press of 5 seconds. I have my protective sheet. I use Teflon, but you can use parchment paper, a thin pillowcase, or the Cricut protective sheet. But I have a bunch of Teflon, so I use that. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to start this. It's set to 15 seconds, but I'm going to just press it until it goes down to 10. 5 seconds off. And then, as always, I'm going to use my lint roller again and make sure I picked up everything. Now I cut off my design a little bit when I cut it, so I just cut an extra little piece off. So I'm going to press this a little bit differently so that I can get it. You can usually do this in one press, but because I screwed it up, I have to do a little work around that. Okay, so I'm just going to press it for a second or two, just to get the carrier sheet off. It's not sticking over there because I didn't put this in. My towel is not in there very well. So I know it says to peel warm and I'm peeling hot, but let's see. I gotta use my protective sheet. Oops. That's the great thing about the Easy Press. It really is not to worry too much. Okay, let's see. And that eye is not sticking for me. I need a better towel to do these with. Okay, and now I'm quickly going to press this little piece in that I missed. The great thing about working with glitter is it's really hard to tell when you do stuff like this. I've screwed it up a time or two. I'm just gonna iron that little piece on there. And then I'm going to do my full 15-second press. Now, because my towel isn't perfectly even, I may have to go back in some areas. And that's why I set it for 15 seconds, because I wasn't sure how that was going to go. So I may need to go back and go over it. But for the most part, that's it. And once it cools down, I have a little pouch of cookie mix and a nice little rubber spatula to go inside, and I'll fill it up. And that's all.